We all know animals like to climb all sorts of places, but the worst of all are those who get too close to electric fences or power lines. From a bear exploding in an electrical tower to a goat who thought an electric fence was grass, here are 10 crazy times animals were electrocuted. Number 10. Leopard zapped by pole. While searching everywhere for some food and water, this leopard made a fatal error. Of all the places it could climb on, it decided to do so on an electrical pole. Maybe it thought it was a tree. Well, whatever the reason, the leopard searched for food and was met instead with a jolt of 50,000 volts of electricity. The power of the electric shock literally fried the leopard alive, and it died instantly, falling off to its death as people around watched. But that leopard was an adult one. Even more tragic is the case of a baby feline getting shocked. Number 9. Kitten electrocuted in pond. This kitten was looking around for some water and discovered a pond nearby. This meant free water and food from the fish swimming in the pond, but the owner had already installed an electric fence to protect his expensive pet koi fish. The kitten was too young to know how electric fences worked, so it tried to get through by force. As soon as it did, it got sent flying to the other side of the garden by the electric shock. Thankfully, it survived the electrocution and lived to see another day. Number 8. Squirrel shocked by electric fence. But enough electric felines for a while. This time we got a hungry squirrel intent on getting its next meal. Sometimes squirrels might attempt to get into a home looking for bird food, flowers in a garden, insects, or nuts. But most homeowners don't want squirrels messing up their gardens or eating their pet birds' foods. So these ones installed an electric fence so no squirrel would try to walk inside. By the time the squirrel was coming through, it realized there was no way out. What's most shocking is how this squirrel was shocked all the time. It kept grabbing onto the fence all the way until the post right beside it. How it managed to survive such strong electric shocks is anyone's guess, but it definitely left a psychological barrier against its future attacks. Funnily enough, the squirrel gave the fence another touch to check if it stopped shocking it, but when it noticed it would experience the same pain, it decided to go pester someone else's home. At least these homeowners can be certain that their home is 100% squirrel-proof. But that's nothing compared to that time when a bear exploded in a high-voltage tower. Yeah, you heard us right. Number 7. Bear climbs electrical tower. In this clip, a bear was lost in the city and decided to climb up to a vantage point and find a way to return to its forest. A great idea at a glance, if it weren't for the place the bear chose to climb up, an electrical tower of around 50,000 volts. After spotting a way back to his home, the bear got stuck in between some live wire, resulting in a huge explosion that knocked the bear off the electrical tower. Bears need a minimum of 5,000 to 7,000 volts to be affected, so this electrocution should have ended its life right there. But in a miracle, the bear survived the shock from the tower and even the fall after the explosion. Animal control got to the scene and nursed the bear back to full health a couple of days later. That's what we call bouncing back from life situations. And what's even more exotic than a bear getting electrocuted? A chimpanzee for sure. Number 6. Chimpanzee electrocuted by wire. Monkeys are among the smartest animals in the wild, capable of thinking of the best outcome instead of acting on impulse like other animals. Well, this young chimpanzee still needed some life experience to learn how to react to danger, for he jumped on top of an electrical pole and even sat on it as if it were a palm tree in the jungle. Animal services took note and went to prevent a tragedy immediately, but the chimpanzee saw it as a joke and yawned in the face of one of the rescuers. Not content with tempting fate, he made himself at home by swinging from the power lines like they were jungle vines, crawling and jumping from electrical pole to pole as if they were nothing, until he got zapped, that was. When he reached one of the poles, it electrocuted him with around 23,000 volts. Luckily, it's hard for monkeys to get killed by electrical wires because they usually hang on a single wire. Until the monkey touches both wires at the same time, the circuit won't complete and shock them to death. For this monkey, he got away because the shock of touching both wires made him slip to the ground, right where the rescuers grabbed him and nursed him back to health. Well, a monkey's not the most common of sights in most Western cities, but one can imagine them hopping on cable lines in many Eastern nations. What's hard to imagine is a larger animal trying to break through a home's electric fence, like a moose. Number 5. Electrified Moose. Few people will know what to do when a giant moose decides to drop by their garden But this family was prepared for all the possibilities. They put up an electric fence to protect their home from intruders, and it led to this invading moose getting shocked as soon as it got close to the fence and making a run for it back to the woods, causing the family to roar in laughter. And it seems like their example also inspired other families to install electric fences around their homes, because as we see in this other clip, stray animals zapped by electric fences are more common than we thought. Number 4. Bears zapped by electric fence. Just ask this bear trying to get through this electric fence. What's interesting is how the bear tried all the ways it could to get through the fence, smelling the mechanism to try and locate a place where it could forage the food it wanted. Too bad that the fence was better prepared than he was. In a swift motion, the bear accidentally touched the electrified fence with his fur and got zapped so hard that he ran away faster than one could say grizzly. Number 3. Goat gets zapped. But this goat ran faster than that bear when it was shocked while grazing the grass. Goats eat almost anything because they like to walk around and sample many foods: hay, grass, weeds, grain, and even tree bark sometimes. But when this poor guy lolled its tongue too close to the electric fence thinking it was food, it got instantly zapped by 5,000 volts of electricity, leading it to run away in panic, getting one of its hind legs stuck on some string and knocking a table out of the way. Number 2. Electric fence surprises raccoon. So this guy had a deer feeder back home, but pesky raccoons kept cleaning it out and stealing food from them. His solution? Hacking a mini electric fence to give them a surprise. This raccoon put his paws where it shouldn't have, and as soon as he got zapped, he scampered away like a rocket. But he was just one, unlike these parrots who got the short end of the stick. Number 1. Parrots get zapped. You see, most birds can perch on power lines without danger because the distance between their feet is spread enough to prevent the flow of the electric current. But if they climb wire to wire and touch both at the same time, they'll get zapped with 3,000 volts of electricity. Unfortunately, this dumb parrot moved around so much that it got itself and a couple of its friends shocked. They ended up hanging by the beak and the others by the tail. Just like the monkey, if they had just remained on one wire instead of trying to boast, they would have been saved from electrocution. This just goes to show that one can pay for the mistakes of others in life. Thanks for watching. We hope to see you in the next one.